I'm here this afternoon with Alexandra Breed, and Alexandra Breed is a active church member, a member of our finance committee, an attorney with the law firm McLean in Middleton. And how long have you been with them?
Since 1998.
1998. Now I noticed I was doing some work today, and you and Doug joined the church. Doug Hill's your husband, and you and Doug joined in 1989.
Did we?
But you transferred your membership from different churches.
He
was
true.
Attending a Baptist church, at least by record, and you were attending, I think, a Reformed Presbyterian church.
Dutch Reformed Church in Poughkeepsie, New York, where I grew up. But we really had not attended churches for quite a long time at that point in time. We'd been coming here to the Guilford Community Church. We just had never become a member. So we finally decided.
Well, we're glad you joined. And some people watching this will know your mom and father-in-law, your mother-in-law and your father-in-law,
Right,
Alice Hill and Toby, two great characters. Huh?
Right. And as soon as they moved to Guilford, they were probably the ones that actually got us to join the church, because they joined right away, and life went on from there. So.
Now, our focus today isn't your family, your story, or anything like that, but something that's really near and dear to your heart, and that's planned giving.
It is.
And when Cindy and I met with you in my office probably 15 years ago to work on our will, near the end of our conversation, you asked if we wanted to make a donation provision in our will to give some of our many assets to a charitable organization, and we said we would certainly want to leave. Whatever church we were members of when we pass, we would like to leave a percentage to them.
Right.
And is that something you routinely ask people?
It is. When I meet with people to do their estate plan, I try to always question whether or not they have any charitable instincts, and whether they'd like to provide for a charity or charities in their estate plan.
And what are some other avenues besides a will that a person can make a planned gift?
So a planned gift is a gift that will take effect usually in the future, typically after somebody has died. And you can obviously use your will. You can provide for a bequest, that's what the way it's referred to, in your will to a specific organization like the church. Or if you have a trust, it would be provided for in your trust. But there are other methods you can use to provide for future benefit to the church, which do not involve lawyers, for instance, which is a great help. You can designate the charity as beneficiary of your retirement account. It's a very simple process. You just work with the administrator of the retirement account and say that you want to name whatever the charity is, Guilford Community Church, as the beneficiary of all or a portion. You can use a percentage or the whole amount. You can also name the church as a beneficiary of a life insurance policy. If it turns out you have a policy that you and your spouse or family don't really need in the future, that's a very good way to have a planned gift for a charity. You can also use a bank account or other types of investment accounts that allow for it, and name the church as the beneficiary of an account in what's called a transfer on death, TOD type of account. So when you die, that account will automatically be paid to the named charity. Will not go through probate, won't go to somebody else's estate, etc. It will go directly to the charity. So those three last methods I mentioned are all ways that you can distribute your assets directly to the charity without going through probate and without using attorneys.
Oh, that's wonderful. And do you need to be, filthy rich to make a planned gift?
No, anybody can make a planned gift. We all have assets. We all want to make sure that those assets are distributed at the time we die, in the way that we plan and want. And so I represent a lot of, I call them little old ladies, but since I'm now a little old lady almost, I don't know that I can use that term anymore. But people that don't necessarily have a huge amount of assets, but they want to provide a method whereby their estate doesn't go through probate, so they want to use a trust, which is a very normal, common kind of way to do it, to avoid probate. And these aren't people necessarily with tons of money. I might have just a couple, $300,000-$400,000, but they want to make sure that the charity that they're concerned about gets a portion of that estate at the time of your death.
And why is this an important thing for people to think about?
Well, it's important to think about estate planning, first of all, because you do not want to end up in the situation where you don't have estate planning documents, a will and trust, because then the state of New Hampshire will determine how your assets are going to get distributed at the time of your death, and most people don't want that to happen. So it's really, really important that you have at least the basic estate planning documents. And why a planned gift? Well, if you've been supporting the church all the way along, and you want to provide for its healthy, increase in membership and support in the future, it's just a really nice way to demonstrate how much you appreciate what the church has done for you, and also to carry on that support in the future for young people, for the programs, for the flowers, for the music, for all the things that you appreciate in the church. It's just a way of providing the resources to have those services and programs and whatever continue in the future.
So our finance committee has been trying to, for a number of years, to kind of establish a legacy foundation, legacy fund. And if people have remembered us in their will or life insurance or made other provisions, should they contact the church office or contact the finance committee to let them know that, or what's the appropriate step?
Well, I don't know that we've actually established the appropriate step yet, but certainly I would think they would speak with you, Michael, to let you know. It seems to me that would be the way to start the process. And it's really just, we've talked in the Finance Committee about establishing the Legacy Society, which is something very similar to many organizations, charitable organizations have this. And it's just a way of honoring those people that have determined that it's important to provide something, and you don't have to disclose what the something is, for the benefit of the church in the future. And we haven't quite figured out the program as to what we wanted to do with these people, but at some point it might be fun to have a special event that occurs honoring these people, or a program or something that would be very typical kind of a process. So I would think, unless Michael you say otherwise, that a conversation with you would be the appropriate way to. And again, you don't have to tell us, Michael, you don't have to tell him how much we're talking about. You just the issue is, if you're a member who has provided for the church in the future, we'd like to know about it, and we'd like to establish a recognition process if you wish to. Of course, you don't need to, naturally.
Great. Well, Alexandra, I thank you for all that you and Doug have brought to the church, and the gifts that you have brought to the community to enrich our church community. And any other last words of wisdom?
I don't think so. Did we cover all of our
I think we
points?
did.
Yeah. It's just once again, really, really important to establish an estate plan. You really do need to work with a lawyer to do that. Don't go online and do something crazy with online services. It's just really, it doesn't give you the type of documentation that is going to work well. It's not terribly expensive. It shouldn't be, at least, and I think it's very worthwhile to know that you've provided for your family and any other beneficiaries that you wish to provide for in the manner that you wish to provide, and also appointed the appropriate people to take care of your matters after you've become incapacitated or die. It's very important to have the right people appointed.
Great.
So I wanted to encourage that.
Well, I thank you for your wisdom.
You're welcome.
And if anyone does want to talk to me, just call the church office at 524-6057, and we can make that happen,
Right.
real quickly.
And I'm also, when we get reestablished, actually having in-person or online. Michael certainly knows how to get hold of me. I think it's all in the church materials as to. I'm happy to try to answer any questions if anybody has any questions.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Enjoy this beautiful day.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michael.